welcome back to my channel. We are reacting to Megan Thee Stallion is a toxic boss like Lizzo. Meg's lawsuit, Amanda Seals condemns Issa Rae. See, how was she toxic like Lizzo? Oh yeah, and Water is also here again. Let's get into it. Oh yeah, the
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive Channel. Recently, Amanda Seales sat down with Shannon Sharp on his Club Shay Shay show. Anytime somebody sits down with Shannon, you know some tea is about to be spilled and somebody is about to be exposed. Well, this interview was no different because Amanda Seales talked about her rift with her former boss and co-star from Insecure, Issa Rae. And her real issue was really with Issa Rae's publicist, Vanessa Anderson. Now, Amanda felt like Vanessa was being rude to her and she didn't like her. And Amanda tolerated it, but things really hit the fan when Amanda went to this Black Emmys party that was hosted by Vanessa. Amanda was actually invited as a plus one. So she arrived at the party, but Vanessa had 4 security guards take her out of the party. And this, of course, infuriated Amanda, and she ranted about it online a few years ago. And after she ranted about this, she slowly started getting backlash from Black media, and she started getting blackballed from certain spaces, and she feels like Vanessa is the reason for this. Also, Amanda felt a way that Issa Rae didn't really step in to handle the situation soon enough. She felt like Issa didn't defend her or protect her at any point in time. Issa seemed to be pretty hands-off on the situation as a whole. There was a moment when Issa tried to intervene and she tried to get Amanda to talk to Vanessa. However, that didn't go well, and since then, things were just awkward between them. I mean, truthfully, Issa is kind of awkward. I don't think she's the type to really want to entertain drama. She doesn't seem like a confrontational person. And on top of that, she's juggling so many different things. So she probably saw the issue between Amanda and her publicist as something trivial. And she's like, listen, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm not in any drama. Just leave me out of it, okay? But Amanda didn't like that. She felt like Issa didn't protect her, and she called her out on it on Club Shay Shay.
And I said to Issa, like, I don't know what's going on with your publicist, but like she got something wrong. She had a problem with me. And she was like, that's between y'all.
Okay.
I said, well, it's not really between y'all because I don't have a problem with her.
Right.
But she seems to have a problem with me. And she was like, that's none of my business.
It is kind of your business.
Okay.
It's your publicist.
At the end of season 1, I pulled Issa aside after this. I said, can we go to dinner? I want to take you to dinner. I took her to dinner. I said, I feel like you think I have something against you. And I don't know why you feel that way. Because we had been cool from even before this.
Right.
She was like, well, no. I said, I feel like you have something against me. And she said, well, I feel like you have something against me. And I was like, based on what? So I said, well, why? She said, well, I guess I was looking at you like your character. And so I said, you know what? So let's clean the slate. Because that's not... I have nothing against you. I really don't. And if that came off, that was not my intention. But by the end of the show, there were just certain scenarios where I had to really always be the bigger person and be the balm to the situation. And then in season 5, she just came out her face at me one time too many, and I just chose to stop being the balm because the show was rapping. I just stopped communicating. She wasn't empowering to me. She didn't feel like I deserved to be protected. I'm only giving I'm only giving a portion of the situation. Yeah. So, but that was my experience.
Okay.
So Amanda obviously felt like Issa didn't protect her in these situations. Now, I do find the conversation they had about not liking each other to be pretty interesting because Amanda felt like Issa wasn't feeling her. Issa felt like Amanda wasn't feeling her. But how they handled the situation was interesting because Issa never brought it up until Amanda invited her out and talked about it. So Amanda is the type to confront the problem head on, whereas Issa probably would let the problem slide under the rug. So they have a different way of handling conflict. Amanda is outspoken and she acts as an advocate for people. So in her mind, she kind of expected Issa to advocate for her. But Issa was too passive for her liking. She almost came off as nonchalant. And
Look at her
Amanda
show.
didn't like that
I
because
can't
she
do
felt
that.
like nobody was taking up for her. Even after that whole Emmys party incident,
show Insecure?
she came
I
back
can't
on the
watch
set of
it.
Insecure and people were just icing her
Not
out.
interesting.
It was a very negative experience for her, and it took a while for Issa to even acknowledge it.
Now we have to go back to shooting. Because at this time, it's just the women shooting. Everybody knows what's going on. They don't say nothing to me. And that's just fucking mean. So now we're on set, and I finally say to Issa, so are we just not going to talk about this? Because it's now going on for 3 weeks, and my mental health is suffering, okay?
They pretend they
And
don't notice.
she's like, well, you know, like, what do you want to talk about? And I said, listen, like, this was a terrible experience.
Right.
This was terrible. And I like literally cried like face to face with her, like, this is terrible. And she's like, this is the first time she finally says, like, well, I'm sorry that happened to you. It took 3 conversations.
Right, for you to actually
And
say something about it?
I said, well, you know, I'd like to talk to you further because I need you to speak to Vanessa. She is trying to ruin my career. She's like, I don't think so.
She's
Now,
very
listening
passive.
to
That
this
would've
is
pissed me
kind of
off.
messed up, and I feel for Amanda. I do. I'm
That
not going to
would've
dismiss her
pissed me
feelings at all.
off.
I think her feelings are very valid, but I'm not going to look at Issa as a villain in the situation either. I think Issa probably needs to make changes in how she addresses conflict, and
I don't know, she
Amanda
irritates
needs to
me.
make changes in how she
I
addresses
don't know about
conflict.
that.
There's nothing wrong with confronting things head on, but sometimes there's a way to do it. And
I
also, there's
just
nothing
irritates
wrong
me.
with trying to avoid drama, but sometimes you can't overlook everything. Now, I'm sure some of y'all
Especially
have
if
heard
you
about
talk
this
about it.
story
Oh,
because it
it's
was
the
pretty
same
big
thing.
this week. But Megan Thee Stallion's former cameraman, Emilio Garcia, is suing Megan Thee Stallion for unpaid wages. And he's also accusing
Unpaid
her
wages.
of creating a toxic work environment and
I didn't know
fat
about
shaming
that part. I
him,
just knew
and
about
also
the-
having intercourse
video.
with another person
He
in
said
front of
she
him
forced him to
against
watch.
his will. Now, these are some pretty wild allegations, but I'm going to go
Oh,
through what the lawsuit said. It said on around June 2022, plaintiff was
Man,
traveling
I don't know.
on tour with Stallion in Ibiza, Spain. After a night out, plaintiff, who was Emilio, Stallion,
is
and 3
crazy
other women
how-
were riding in an SUV together. Suddenly, Stallion, one of the other women, started having sex right beside the plaintiff. Plaintiff could not get out of the car as it was both moving and he was in the middle of nowhere in a foreign country. Plaintiff was embarrassed, mortified, and offended throughout the whole ordeal. The following day, Stallion inquired whether plaintiff was in the SUV the previous night. Plaintiff confirmed that he was in the SUV. Subsequently, Stallion instructed, "Don't ever discuss what you saw." Stallion berated and directed her fat-shaming comments toward plaintiff,
Oh.
such as "Fat B," "Spit your food out," and "You don't need to be eating." Those are some pretty wild allegations. Now, I do think Emilio needs to back up some of these allegations with proof because it's just
'Cause I
not going
can
to
kinda
land if
see
he
her
doesn't
saying it,
have
but
any
not
proof
really.
to back it up. But I'm not going to dismiss these allegations so easily because I do
You don't
think
need to be eating.
Megan has a
That's
bad
crazy.
habit of blurring the professional lines with people who work with her. I mean, there was a video of her grinding on her hairstylist Kalan, and he didn't seem to mind, but that is still very unprofessional, and she shouldn't cross those type of boundaries with somebody who works for her. But it comes to show you where her mind is at when it comes to things like this. She sees her employees as her friends, and she doesn't think twice about getting drunk in front of them, grinding on them, doing other sexual things. Like, it's nothing to her
That's
because she looks at them
true.
like her friends instead of her workers. And some of the responsibility
y'all.
has to fall on her employees
I
as
kinda
well
be-
because
I
they
kinda-
entertain it too. They do. But
I kinda take
Megan
my
has
step
to be
in that.
very careful because
It kinda
her
look
behavior
like
can
she's
easily
very
be
comfortable
perceived
doing
as
that around other
harassment
people, like,
and even
yeah.
assault. But see, she doesn't get that. So she does things that she shouldn't do around
But they're
them, like
allowing it.
allegedly
These are
getting her
grown people.
freak on in front of her cameraman. That's highly unprofessional, highly inappropriate. It doesn't matter if he was just a friend. That's
But
not
she
cool
is
to
the
allegedly
boss,
be
so
having
it's kinda
intercourse
power thing.
in
It's
front of
kinda-
somebody without their consent.
I understand.
That's wild. And she allegedly was
That's very
fat
wild.
shaming Emilio and creating a toxic work environment. I mean,
The-
a few of these
that
allegations
part, the
sound
fat shaming
similar to
part,
the allegations that were brought against
crazy.
Lizzo. Except Lizzo
That's
wasn't
crazy.
busting it wide open in front of her employees, you know.
I hope
But
she
she
did not
still
do
was
that.
canceled. People didn't give her a chance to
I
defend
didn't already
herself,
bought
which I
the
do find
ticket.
interesting because I see more people coming to Megan's defense. but they didn't show the same energy to Lizzo, which actually proved my point that I made in another video. I said the reason why Lizzo got canceled is because people don't like her. People only protect people they like. And Megan seems to be more liked and more protected by certain groups of people than Lizzo is. So I do find that to be very interesting. Now, let me get back to the lawsuit. This is what was also said. After confiding in the makeup artist, Stallion learned of the plaintiff's contemplation of quitting due to Stallion's possessiveness combined with lack of appropriate pay for the amount of time asked of him, as discussed fully below. Later that night, Stallion drunkenly FaceTimed the plaintiff, and after plaintiff expressed his belief he was being underpaid for the amount of hours actually asked of him, they reached an understanding, with Stallion affirming we're good. Despite the conversation, plaintiff remained scheduled for Stallion's upcoming gig the following Friday. Nevertheless, on or around June 2023, Rock Nation unexpectedly reached out to plaintiff the night before the scheduled Friday gig and informed him that his services would no longer be required by Stallion. So Emilio's main complaint here is the fact that he got fired and he wasn't properly paid for the work he did with Megan Thee Stallion. In a lawsuit, he went on to say that he worked all times of the day. She would call him and tell him to do this and ask him to edit. And he would work hours overtime without getting paid, allegedly. And his work hours weren't properly recorded because he was misclassified as an independent contractor instead of an employee of a company. The lawsuit said as a personal cameraman, plaintiff was forced to take on a myriad of duties and work much longer hours. Specifically, plaintiff worked in excess of 50 hours under the close scrutiny and explicit discretion of Stallion, who continuously contacted plaintiff at all hours, directing him to brainstorm TikTok videos, to edit content that plaintiff had not captured, and complete various assignments. For all relevant times, Stallion controls and directs the performance of the plaintiff's work, who does not provide personal cameraman services independently of his relationship with Stallion. Stallion specifically told plaintiff that he was not allowed to service any other client other than herself on more than one occasion. On multiple occasions, Stallion explicitly directed plaintiff not to engage with other clients, expressing possessiveness over the client's services as her personal cameraman. This exclusivity requirement meant that plaintiff was unable to offer his filming services to any other clients while working with Stallion. Now, this is interesting because I do remember when Megan Thee Stallion had a riff with her former hairstylist, Jonathan, and I do think it was over the fact that he wanted to branch out and take in more clients, but Megan allegedly didn't like that. However, Jonathan didn't want to be known as just Megan Thee Stallion's hairstylist.
The only reason me and Megan not working together, I mean, I'm not doing Megan her right now, is because I'm a hustler. We both from Dallas. We both on our come up. So at the end of the day, I can't stop my grind when we both trying to grow and just be dedicating myself to Megan. No, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be just known as Megan herself.
Now, Jonathan was able to branch out and get his own clients at the expense of his professional relationship with Megan. However, it was pretty hard for Emilio to branch out because people saw him as just Megan's cameraman, and that's kind of how Megan wanted it, allegedly. He said in his Facebook post, "Over the last 5 years, I sacrificed and went through a lot. If you know, you know. I had one main client and made time for local clients when my schedule allowed me to. With that, I lost out on a lot of opportunities, local and within the industry, because people thought I was exclusive to one person or they never knew when I was in town." He also said the CEO of Rock Nation, Desiree Perez, altered his pay and made him receive a lot less than what he was owed. And he even liked this tweet that Nicki posted, hinting that Desiree was behind him getting fired. So there's a lot of things going on, and some people might say that Emilio is only bringing this lawsuit against Megan because he's mad that he no longer works with her. I could see how he would be disgruntled about that because that was his main stream of income at one point. But I don't think he has any real interest in working with Megan anymore at this point. I mean, he claimed that the work environment was toxic and stressful for him, and he wants to get compensated for all of the unpaid work he did. However, Megan's legal team is clapping back at Emilio, and they're basically saying that this is a money grab and it has nothing to do with harassment, and they will deal with this in court. So who knows? Maybe they might quietly settle to shut him up, or maybe they won't pay him at all because he's going up against a heavyweight. Megan's lawyer is Alex Spiro. He represents Rock Nation and Jay-Z. So we all know how that's going to end. I mean, this lawyer is going to find loopholes in this lawsuit if possible. So if Emilio doesn't have substantial evidence to back up his claims, this lawsuit can possibly be thrown out. Anyway, tell me what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Okay. Coming into this, I was like, he's lying. But now seeing the evidence of her grinding on everybody else while everybody is around, it's like she is very comfortable doing that with everybody around. But the fat shaming, I don't know. I don't know about that part. But pay this man. Girl, Megan, it's so hard to defend you. I'm trying, y'all. I'm really trying. I already bought the tickets. I'm still going. But pay this man. Please pay this man. If this is true, this is all, you know, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, unless we already know. But me, I don't know. So, Megan, either pay this man or this man need to stop lying. And that's the end of the video. That's a wrap. Tell me your thoughts on this whole situation. Do you think that Megan actually did this? Or is the cameraman lying to get some shine on him? Is he lying? Or is Megan really that messed up as a boss? See you in the next one.